Hi guys, it's Brittany. So, today's going to be a paranormal video. And so today I'm going to share with you this paranormal experience that happened years ago. And yes, I actually do mean years ago because now this is one paranormal experience that I actually do not remember, but it's something that my older sister remembers. Now I don't know if she's seen this herself, um but she has told me about it. So a long time ago, I think from the ages when I was from 2 to 4 years old, I was having night terrors. And the thing is, I didn't even know that I was having night terrors around 2 to 4 years old. I had no idea. And so what happened was, because when the mask came out, in 1994, so let's see, it actually came out on my older sister's birthday in 94. So I was just, 2 years old before I turned 3 later in November. So I was just 2 years old at the time. And so at first I was scared of the mask. I think especially because, the way Jim Carrey looked with the mask on. And of course, it was understandable because I was just a baby around the time. So of course I couldn't really grasp to understand what was going on, within the movie of the story. And so, from what my older sister told me is that, from the ages 2 to 4 years old, is that I was having night terrors. And when I heard that, I was completely surprised because I had no idea about it. I have no memory of it at all. And so from what she said is that when I was having these night terrors, I would wake up crying, wake up screaming, and that when she would come to check on me, that I would, tell her, like, in my own words, saying that I had pointed out, like, to the corner of the wall of the room, and she said that I had said to her with my own words that I saw the mask in the corner of my room, and that he was standing there. So when she said that this is what I thought. I thought, okay, so whatever it was that I saw, like, so from 2, 3, and 4 years old, so whatever it was that I saw, it wasn't that I really actually saw the character of the mask, like, being transformed, into the room. So it's not the character himself, but there was something, I believe there was someone there spiritually in the my throat's dry. But yeah, I believe that there was someone spiritually there in the corner of the room, and just maybe standing there watching me, and I don't know, maybe saying something that I didn't quite understand. Maybe, I don't know. So I believe there was, like I said, someone spiritually there in the corner, and somehow, with me just being a baby, I'm thinking, oh, it's the mask, over there. But no, it's not. The character is someone. It's someone else in spirit who was there, and I think whoever it was scaring me because I would wake up crying and screaming. And so the thing is, so I did saw something. I did. So even as a baby, I saw whoever it was in the corner of the room, and I think whoever it was probably a man. And so, and yeah, whoever it was just scared me. And yeah, but yeah, like I said, I don't even know who, because of course I don't even know the whole history on of the house that I grew up in, so I don't know the whole history on that, about the house or even the property. Like, I have no idea, but whoever it was scared me as a baby, and this was happening a lot from 2 to 4 years old, and I was, and this is why I was getting night terrors, because this was happening, and because from at a young age I did saw something. And here's the other thing, because there was a point at a certain age where I don't remember, I think it was maybe when I was 5, 6, or 7, but at some point I think I didn't quite see or heard anything in the house after that, but I've always felt this presence around me, but it wasn't a good one. I've always felt this very unnerving, uneasy presence, like just watching me. And like I mentioned before, it almost felt like someone watching you, almost like they're stalking you and just watching your every move. So that's what it felt like every day in that house. But then I gotta say that um when me and my family did move out of that house, and when we moved to Temecula, then that's when, that's when I started to see and hear more of the spiritual realm again. So when I did, that's when I realized I have this gift. And so when I realized that, I was like, and of course I wasn't freaked out by it, but I was more curious and fascinated by it, and I just wanted to learn more about it. And of course, the more I learned about it, I gotta say, when it came to the more dark stuff of it, of course, that still terrifies me. But when it comes to the more um, good parts of it, like good spirits, and those like guardian angels, and those who are watching over you, protecting you, and guiding you and giving you comfort. And so when it comes to that, I'm not scared by it, because that gives me comfort. It does. So, yeah. So that is one paranormal experience that I absolutely do not remember, because I was just from 2 to 4 years old, seeing this spirit, whoever it was, in the corner of the room, and I'm thinking it's Mask, Stanley Ipkiss, when actually it's not, and it's someone else. But this particular spirit, whoever it was scaring me, and I was having night terrors like almost every night from 2 to 4 years old, and that is terrifying. So yeah, that is one I actually don't remember, because I was so young, and of course I would not be able to remember that. So yes, that is what happened. Now I gotta say, of course those night terrors stopped, and so when they did stop, I'm glad it did, because if it hadn't, I'm not sure what else I could have seen other than that spirit that was just in the corner of the room watching me. Especially like when I'm sleeping, like, oh, especially if it's, in a terrifying way, like, that's just so uneasy, you know? It really is. But yeah, I do remember at some point when I was quite young, I think there was a time where I stopped being afraid um, of Jim Carrey as the mask, and I just loved it, and I just loved his character, and of course, and I end up being, I end up growing just loving it and being fond of Jim Carrey, and just um, loving his performance, which of course I still do, you know. So yeah, yeah. So that's what happened though. But yeah, quite scary. And like I said, I didn't know anything about that until she told me. I'm like, what? And that's terrifying. And I gotta say, for anyone who went through that, even as a kid, having night terrors and seeing something that's completely terrifying, and whether if someone believes you or not, I gotta say, for those who don't believe you, it's just quite sad, because you need someone who, who that you need. It's like you need someone who will believe you and to know, like, look, I'm not making this up. I'm seeing this, you know? And I gotta say, for those who do believe, then, that's good, because, when it comes to anything that's spiritual, whether if it's something you see, hear, or feel, like when you feel like a spiritual touch, like on your shoulder or on your head, it's real. It is. Like, the spiritual realm is very much real as the physical is. So they're both real, you know. But yeah, I stand by that because it's true. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this, and let me know what you thought of this paranormal experience, because when I first heard about it, I was completely surprised. Like, what? That happened? Like, and here's the thing, because I'm thinking, because in my mind I'm thinking, like, if I had went back in time, and if I had maybe had seen him at this age as an adult, and if I could somehow see or try to, figure out what was going on, like if he was just standing there watching me or saying something that was just scaring me, or maybe had a certain creepy look on his face that maybe caused me to scream and cry. I have no idea, but I'm kind of curious. But I'm just glad that I don't remember that, at that age, because if I did, I probably would still be completely terrified of that. So it's a good thing I did not remember, you know. But yeah, I guess I feel bad for kids who have night terrors, and who see something that when they see something spiritually, and it just, and especially something that scares them, something that's bad, and then they end up being so terrified, and they're just crying and screaming, like no one should go through that, especially kids, because kids are sensitive, you know and I gotta say, even when kids grow older, they can still be sensitive as adults, but even when they're still young, you gotta be especially careful what you do or say, because they're very sensitive, and I know I was. So yeah, that's what happened. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this, and comment down below what you thought about it, because it was terrifying. So that is all for today, and I'll see you at the movies.